sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling like I never had before, no.
Hi there. My name is Andrea Wolff, and I'm the star of Loose Screws, the story of one woman's journey from a terrible childhood, through a terrible adolescence, to a terrible young adulthood, to a lousy middle age, rehab, and then redemption. Although some of the elements of the story are drawn from my own experiences and other people's experiences I've read in sleazy supermarket rags, the heroine in Loose Screws is mostly a fictional character whose name was changed several times to protect numerous identities. That having been said, let's start at the beginning. We meet the glamorous, revitalized, or rather renovated woman of a certain age, Miss Chelsea Sutton Place, as she's just been released from 3 years at the Broken Promises Rehab and Cosmetic Surgery Center. She's returned to the theater for a big comeback and is momentarily overwhelmed by the usual performance anxiety that accompanies such a huge public event.
Chelsea Sutton Place.
I've been feeling kinda topsy-turvy. Topsy-turvy. Sort of in a spin in Central Jersey. Woo-hoo! The evening rush, a major bore. Then they open the limo door and grills galore. Here I am,
Chelsea was always known for her candor. With the crowd and rapt attention, she takes them back to the beginning of her incredible journey through life. She was born Mary Margaret Rabinowitz in the trunk of an aqua blue Cadillac on a stolen mink coat. She reminisces about growing up in bars where she learned how to read the labels of liquor bottles and play pool instead of reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Mama was an actress who thought she'd be a star. She had the tits, the talent, and the zeal. She'd meet a lot of greasy guys sitting at the bar who claimed they were producers and would cast her as Camille.
Mama, you sure were a mess. We lived in a bar with no home address.
My childhood was a string of rinky-dink theaters, honky-tonks, and billiard halls.
But it didn't matter, because she knew she was going to be a big star. And in fact, by the age of 11, she was cast in an off Broadway production of Kitties on Broadway, where she was, pardon my French, the only kitten in a cast of full-grown pussies.
Katie's on Broadway, Katie's on Broadway, look as we live now of her. Katie's on Broadway, stalking the white way, stroke us and we will burn. Climb up your tree and we'll waggle our tail, unless you're a cop, cause we'll end up in jail. We're Katie's on Broadway, bleeding ourselves for you.
Just when the bloom on that rose began to fade, she was not surprised to be discovered by the famous pornographer, Vinnie Long John Silverman, who changed her name to Tiny Bubbles. Anyway, her output as a porn star was enormous, and she was the toast of the town, the lady in red, if you catch my drift. I mean, when she'd walk through the door at Studio 54, they wouldn't stop screaming until she agreed to sing and sing and sing and sing the night away.
She works hard for the money, so hard for it, honey. She works hard for the money, so you better treat her right.
I worked all day and I played all night. Did a lot of blow, but I felt alright. Champagne, caviar, mushroom snack. All of it so blurry when I dare to look back.
She did some hot stuff, baby, this evening.
But TV was not to have the fairy tale life of most porn stars / celebrities. At the height of her fame, tragedy struck when Vinnie was viciously murdered, and she was left penniless with a really fierce coke addiction. She turned to over-the-counter medications and nail polish remover, just to mask the pain and her unresolved issues, until the stress and exhaustion was too much, even for this working girl.
You don't talk to me tender or treat me easy the way that a good lover should. Is not very gay, but love is that way. It's gotta be bad.
She began
to be
having
good.
lengthy blackouts, during which she would have sex for money, and thought she was Annie, the Little Mermaid, and Peter Pan, just to name a few.
Hey, hope man, hey, dapper Dan, check out my style, oh buddy, 'cause what you're gonna see will make you.
Hey, get rid of that ugly dress, kid.
I wanna be where the people are. I wanna be an exotic dancer, dancing around on that. What's that word again?
Poles.
Right, up where they pay to see what I got, but I would never show them my.
I gotta crawl. I'm just the gayest young fella 'twas ever your fortune to know. Some take it's funky, but I'm hung like a donkey and straight, don't you know?
Before you can say,
I gotta
"Ooh, what's wrong with you, girl?" she wakes up, strapped to a cot in the locked ward of the Marlborough Asylum for wayward, deranged ex-fairy tale strippers. Despite the most aggressive treatments, she showed little progress until she fell in love with the criminally insane Billy Ray Bashful from Nashville. Like so many of the other men in Tiny's life, he was also a teacher. He taught her many things, criminally insane things. For instance, one Thursday night at the big dance, when the boys were busting over from Psycho, Billy Ray put the idea in Tiny's head to steal the identity of the lead singer of the Pixie Dickler Band. His thinking was probably more along the lines of stealing her wallet, but Tiny took him literally, cornering Pixie in the ladies' room, knocking her out, changing clothes with her, and hitting the panic button. As the real Miss Dickler was dragged off to get a lobotomy, Tiny hit the road with the band.
Grew up in a shanty shack in a coal mining town by the railroad track with a pretty little outhouse in the back. Deep in the heart of Dixie. I was born number 12 on the first of the year. One mile still drunk with Christmas cheer. When an angel whispered in her ear, she said, "Call me Pixie." All the folks in our town have one last name. Every man and beast the same. On the day that one time came. We were into particular. I love my kinfolk, everyone. Some ain't pretty and some ain't fun, but the Lord gave me beauty and town by the ton. That's me, I'm Pixie Dickler. That's right, I'm Pixie Dickler. Well, howdy, howdy, y'all.
Many years passed without incident, and you might think it's a girl's dream come true to be a big country singer with many hits in a TV show. But Pixie, a.k.a. Tiny, had a little nagging problem, a multiple personality problem. Despite a very successful cable run and being clean and sober for years, she continued to have blackouts. And during one fateful and embarrassing evening on national television, she is overwhelmed by two altars.
Hello, how y'all doing? I'm Yetta Slimebach.
Oh, listen, you guys, you want to hear a joke?
You see, Morris and Sadie lived in a nursing home, and at 95, they fell in love and decided to tie the knot. So on their wedding night, Morris says, "Excuse me, sweetheart, I'm gonna go into the bathroom and freshen up." When he comes out, there's Sadie, standing on her head, legs akimbo, panties off, and a dress over her face. Morris says, "Sadie, what are you doing?" And Sadie replied, "Well, Morris, I figured if you couldn't get it up, you could drop it in."
Greetings on what ho duck is. I am a man to sit on. You see, most mornings I'm rat-arsed. That's drunk, don't you know? So, technically, my dears, Pixie hasn't been in the least bit clean or sober for the past 25 years.
Much to the consternation of all involved, the three end up having a very dramatic fight right there on the air, culminating in a terrible meltdown as Pixie, aka Tiny, closes the show by channeling Satan.
Oh, you all can just go suck my dick.
Well, needless to say, after hitting rock bottom for the umpteenth time and a failed suicide attempt, Pixie checks into rehab, and after 3 short years of detox and therapy, she is ready for her big comeback.
You either stay and you see the way the show ends, with its cast of easy come and easy go friends. The plot can have a lot of twists and bends. Even death is worth a week of with pain. So I'll kill myself. You got it? Tomorrow.
I know you've heard it all before. A simple girl with a dream from humble beginnings sets out to change the world, and the world changes her. A happy ending? Well, Chelsea Sutton Place is just about to begin a new chapter.